Taekwondo is wrong because it's not karate.
Where them kicks at? Where them hands? Where them holes? Where them throws? You know what I'm saying? Cecil.
Now, what do I mean by Taekwondo is wrong because it's not karate? You will have people criticizing Taekwondo because they don't do moves the way that they do them in karate. You will also have people criticizing Taekwondo because they don't do moves the way they do them in Kung Fu. You will have people criticizing Taekwondo because they don't do their moves the way that they do them in kickboxing. You will have people criticizing Taekwondo because Taekwondo doesn't focus a lot on sport ground fighting. And that's because it's Taekwondo. It's not karate. It's not Kung Fu. It's not Jiu-Jitsu. It's not even Judo. Now, my variety, Cecil Taekwondo, has some Judo in it, but you cannot expect us to be full-on dope judokas unless we have judoka ranking. If you want to judge my students' judo, judge their judo by by the judo rank that they have, not by the Taekwondo rank. If you want to judge their Taekwondo, judge it by the Taekwondo rank that they have. With my people, just like I did in my journey, Taekwondo was a primary, Judo was secondary. I did eventually, yes, get a Shodan in Judo. I did that. And I first got a Shodan in Taekwondo. I did that. Before I went higher up ranks in just Taekwondo and then finally just made my own thing. But a lot of the feedback and the criticism that you're going to get, especially, see, this is some of the dangers of cross-training and of actually keeping an open mind like people say that you should. When you actually do cross-training, you actually do keep an open mind, you're going to have to deal with people criticizing what you do because you may not do a certain fundamental the way they do it. Sometimes it's even going to come from branches of Taekwondo. Say you're more ITF style. If you're truly like modern ITF style, a lot of people who came up under the earlier versions of ITF Taekwondo are not going to like what you do or how you do some of your movements because you're implementing sine wave. You use bigger movements, okay? You don't step the way that they did because their stuff was still heavily influenced from Karate Do. Remember, General Choi was a Nidan, I believe, in Shotokan karate. So he had a karate background. And there was a lot of karate influence when they first formed Taekwondo and in the branch of Tangsudo, which I consider to be Taekwondo's cousin. Really, brother, but I'll say cousin. So in Tangsudo and some of the older forms of even ITF Taekwondo, like say Mudokwan Taekwondo, they really keep closer to their karate roots. So you may have some people judging you or criticizing what you're doing because it's not karate. They will say that what you're doing is not proper. Now, of course, if somebody practices an internal style, they're going to criticize how you do Taekwondo or your approach to Taekwondo because Taekwondo is an external system. It is not an internal system. Now, can you learn to apply internal principles to Taekwondo? Yes. Yes, you can. Can you practice your Taekwondo like you're doing an internal system, even to the point of chi building with it? Yes. Yes, you can. You can learn to be soft. That's something I try to impart to my students. But they got to learn how to be hard first. They got to learn the way that, Taekwondo was originally designed before they can break away from the design. That's just how it is. You don't really know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. So just keep that in mind as you're going about your daily thing, as you're learning, you're trying to cross-train. Just remember, I'm not saying that you necessarily throw away or ignore the criticisms and advice that's given you by others. That's ridiculous. But just remember their bias. If they're coming from a different school of Taekwondo, maybe where they came from or how they came up, they did movements differently. They had a more percussive approach. Okay? Especially if they're doing WTF Taekwondo and you're doing more of an ITF Taekwondo, they're going to have more emphasis on kicking. Now, are they bad? Because some people say WTF don't have any hands. Because they're not boxing. That's another criticism. Taekwondo will be criticized because it's not boxing. They're not supposed to have, quote unquote, hands. They're supposed to be kicking because that is their forte. What you should do is learn their forte to improve your overall game. Instead of going, oh, they kick, they just kick, they just kick. No, learn how to deal with a kicker, or a kicker will kick your you-know-what. Okay? Don't sleep on people that can kick real good. I used to be one of them. A good kicker can kick your butt. Okay? That's one of the reasons why they came up with that style of Taekwondo. The leg is the strongest part of the body. Yeah, you're off balance when you throw some of those kicks, but they're worth it. Now, I'll give you a last example. This thing I call the C-step or the crescent step. This ought to be at the right height where you can see it. Where you, instead of stepping like that, you step like that. Apparently, one, it's not being taught anymore. And two, I heard that it was from a branch of Taekwondo, Tang Sudo, but I've seen it show up in some karate too. Whoever started that had a leg problem. That's how he moved. So that's why people did that. But I keep it on some of my moves because I found a function for it. If you really want to know what the function is, put $5 in my PayPal and I'll tell you. But I found a function. I'm not kidding about that either. Remember I said moves are for students? No, I'm not playing that. No. But anyway, I found a function for it, so I keep it on some moves. So just keep that in mind. People rag on Taekwondo. They're ragging on Taekwondo a lot of times because it's not what they do. So what can you do as a Taekwondo player? Like I said in one of my first videos, you can search for it on this channel. Use Taekwondo hate to your advantage. Let them teach you what they know so you can learn how to break it. And that way you have options and you can implement what they know into what you do, or you can learn how to break what they know how to do. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people like talk about the martial arts. And peace.